Welcome to Backbreaking News, episode 316. And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said... Okay. Just wait till episode 316 is going to be about... This is Cookie King 73. We're doing hypothetical question. And today's hypothetical question is part 86. And the question is, would you take someone else's suffering into yourself? I mean... The question is, like, my only question here is, of course I would do it, especially if it means someone else didn't have to suffer. I feel like I like to see people happy, not to see people suffering, especially if it's a child. I would take their suffering, because I want to see children, everyone happy. It doesn't matter what your age is. I just want people to be happy. The only problem with this ability I could see is that, like, eventually, if you keep taking people's suffering, eventually I feel like, it might turn you crazy, because, remember, everything they feel, you feel, I would say, in this scenario. So that means everything they had to go through, you didn't physically go through it, but you feel their pain. So that means if they saw some of the... If something bad... That means you feel all their pain. If you do this twice, more than, I would say, twice, it will probably damage you in ways you wouldn't think possible. At the same time, I would do this, maybe once. Use the ability once. But at the same time, there's no use into doing it. There's no use into doing it more than once. Because if you do it more than once, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, if we're talking about that, my reasoning, I would say yes, because I would use it once, but I'm going to say the reason why I wouldn't do it more than once is simply because it could leave you being severely depressed. Because, remember, you take people's suffering in. You'll take all their pain, all their thoughts, everything. It will put... If you already are sad and stuff, you're just going to be putting more stuff on you. So that's the reason why I say... Using it sparingly for, like, maybe, like, a friend, family, or whoever else you care about would be more useful than, using it for, like, random people that you just met. I would say yes, but I wouldn't use it more than once. And that would be my answer. Also, since I want to make this video a little longer, and that's all I have to say about this question, I've got an announcement to make. The first episode of Let's Talk About This will be about wrestling. My love for wrestling. This series is going to be where I talk about random stuff every day. It's going to be like backbreaking news, but more serious. So I might be talking about topics I have talked about there in a more serious matter. Like, I'm not going to be cracking jokes all the time. I might throw a joke in there here and there, or get angry a little bit, but the first ever episode is going to be just talking about my love for wrestling over time. If you will be interested in seeing a 30-minute video on that, just for my love of wrestling, there's going to be other episodes of course, talk about other stuff. Like, I was thinking of doing one based on, I don't know yet. Anything that could take 30 minutes to talk about, or just you want to hear me yap and maybe learn some things that you didn't know. That would be what this series is about. This will be more of a less jokey type situation, and it will probably go into some deep topics. Not too deep, but maybe like, it's going to be more serious in tone than Bad Breaking News is all I'm going to say. And this is where I'm going to end the video. Goodbye. By the way, I'm changing the day that the first episode of that series begins. I said it will begin in December. But I changed my mind. It's going to be, the first ever episode will air in September sometime. September or October, I haven't decided. With the second episode being probably aired closer to December. At December, and then the third ever episode being sometime in January. So the January episode will be, if you're a fan of my Wrestling Talk series, it will be going over my reviews of the shows, and I'm going to make a definitive list of what shows I like the most, what as a whole. So if there's 2-night pay-per-views, consider them one, because I'm going to consider them one, because I'm going to be rating them as one. Saturday main events don't count for much, so we're not going to consider those. We're going to consider NXT pay-per-views, though, the ones I have watched. I've only watched 2. So, but that would be the third episode of me talking about, I would just be simply talking about the shows as a whole, what I liked about them, maybe the John Cena retirement tour as a whole. I'm going to be doing that too in Wrestling Talk, but it's probably going to be a lot shorter and to the point than this in-depth discussion would be in Let's Talk About It. So, goodbye.